I stand before you today as a leader in my community, striving to become a world-class athlete and an exceptional educator who teaches with passion and purpose. Growing from a boy into a man is a challenging journey, especially in today's world. As a mixed-race male, I have faced many unique challenges that have shaped my perspective and fueled my desire to lead. True leadership is about character and integrity, and I aim to be a strong role model for those around me. I am dedicated to creating a safe and supportive environment where no one feels left behind. As I am working towards becoming an educator, I hope to instill these values in the next generation. I have witnessed firsthand the incredible power of our light. It can be intimidating, but with the help from the club and a courageous spirit, I have learned to channel my light and shine brightly throughout my community, guiding others through their darkness. Thank you.
And now the Washington State 2025 Youth of the Year is Cavalier Jr.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. A quote from a truly inspiring film by the name of Coach Carter that holds a special place in my heart. This is the quote that has inspired my journey through the Boys and Girls Club. As a current senior, as well as a Running Start student, it has not always been so easy to channel my light, to overcome that fear of shining. Taking that step to overcome that fear and channel my light is where the Boys and Girls Club comes into play. I first came to the Boys and Girls Club in my freshman year because a friend had told me to come shoot around with him before a game. I had no idea how impactful the club would be on my life. I had no idea that the same place my friend was in last year, as your host in the Thurston County Youth of the Year, would be where I am today. And through all the success and achievements I've had through my short time with the Boys and Girls Club, I have my mentor and advisor to thank for that. Miss Latasha is the reason I came back to the club after that one day with my friend. She offered a warm welcome and a sense of comfort that I hadn't felt since I had moved to Lacey. She is the one who saw the potential in me to go as far as I have come today, and she continues to push me and force me to grow and become better and better. I would say that my Youth of the Year journey has definitely been the most impactful to me. The Youth of the Year program has catapulted me so far forward in my life development that just 6 months ago, I think you'd be lying if you told me that I'd be representing the entire state of Washington in a competition that requires me to build a resume, write 3 different essays, be interviewed, and stand on a stage in front of different crowds of people that I've never seen to give a speech. The connections that I've made and experiences that I've had through this process has truly changed my perspective on the world. They have boosted my self-confidence, eased my social anxiety, and taught me how to articulate myself better. And now as I head on to regionals in the competition, I continue to look back on everything that the Boys and Girls Club has been for me. The place that I went to just shoot around before a game with my friend became a second home. And my staff at the Boys and Girls Clubs has become my second family. I can't believe how far I've come on this journey, and it inspires me to encourage more and more people to join the Boys and Girls Club, because it can be so much more than just an after-school program. They help you conquer and control your light, as they have helped me. Great futures start here. Thank you. And now I have the honor of introducing Dr. Tony Agtarap, a retired orthopedic surgeon, Boys and Girls Clubs of Thurston County founding board member, and Boys and Girls Club alumni. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Tony to the stage.
Kurt, nice job. I had a chance to sit on the judging panel when Kurt came through, and I really was impressed and not surprised at all. He's off to state, and I'm really excited for him. More importantly, That hair is the old hair, but that hair when I won is the same hair Kurt has. So you gotta have big hair. Because I thought I was looking at myself up there when you just gotta have big hair. So I just gotta get him some gray shoes. So thank you all for coming. Appreciate getting this Youth of the Year thing sort of revived in me to see him go through this and then to share with you my club story a little bit, but really the 40 years I've spent as an adult as part of the Boys and Girls Club and continued to push forward in this passion I have for kids, and Kurt's a great example of that. So my story, I guess, starts about 50 years ago at age 8. My family moved out of Seattle to Edmonds, and I found the club at age 8 and spent the next 10 years there. Early on, my parents still had to commute into the city, so I had 5 siblings, and so we didn't have a whole lot of place to go after school, so the club was that connection to keep me involved after school in athletics and academics and caught me focused. I really think it played a bigger role in my teen years, and as you see what Shelika has shared today, the teen experience is growing, and I think still the biggest impact we have is in that teen years when we're making crucial decisions in our life. And so when I got to about age 13 or 14, I had 3 older siblings, which were not great role models. They weren't great mentors to me. They were struggling in school. One of them became pregnant and dropped out of school, and another one was asked to leave for delinquent issues and drug issues. And so at this point, I said, I've got to do something a little bit different with my life. Neither of my parents went to college. No one went to college prior to me. So I found some mentors at the club that helped me grow and expand, some coaches that believed in me. And more importantly, I found the Youth of the Year program, which I really think was a huge part of building my confidence in public speaking and doing things. So my senior year, very similar to Kurt, I was named our club Youth of the Year, and that proceeded to the state level. And Snohomish County is pretty competitive. I think our 3 national Youth of the Year all come out of Snohomish County. So it was a very competitive process, and it allowed me to go to Pacific Region and then back to nationals. So 1984-85, I went back and spent a week in Washington, D.C. and met President Reagan and was named National Youth of the Year, and didn't realize at that time how much that was going to open the door in my life to become even more successful. It most importantly provided scholarship money so I could go to school. Spent about a year, my freshman year at Washington State University, traveling around as a spokesperson for Boys and Girls Club, which I sure hope Kurt gets an opportunity to do, because I went to some very large events and accepted a lot of sponsorship monies on behalf of Boys and Girls Club. And that experience, specifically the interviewing process, was very rigorous, and it built the stage, I think, for me to proceed into my post-high school years. So fast forward 13 years, went off to undergraduate medical school, 5 years of surgical training, and then in 1997, my family and I relocated to Olympia, starting practice. I joined Olympia Orthopedics 28 years ago, and grew that practice as you start being busy and learning connections in town. And after being here for a couple years, I realized that we had an opportunity to provide for our kids, get them involved in sports and activities, but a lot of families didn't. And a lot of the staff that I work with every day at the hospitals and Olympia Orthopedics, they're trying to get to work and get their kids off to school or nowhere for them to go after school. And so I realized that, I'm in Thurston County in the state capital, and there's not a Boys and Girls Club here. So it was at that time that I came in connection with several other community members. Many of them are here tonight, or today, I should say, this morning, to begin this infrastructure on starting a Boys and Girls Club. And so we got together with Community Foundation, and we moved forward in starting the Boys and Girls Clubs of Thurston County, which is really obviously seeing the numbers grow. And over 25 years or so, more and more clubs, surrounding communities, and the growing support of these programs. So part of that, and 25 years later, is, for 40 years since I won that national award, I found a way to stay connected, I think. Nationally, I'm part of this ambassador program for Youth of the Year, which has been helpful, where I used to more regularly give talks. I think this is the first talk I've given in 10 years, so I have a few notes. But giving talks and staying involved, I do judging at a local and state level, and I hope to do more of that in the future. The Youth of the Year program's pretty close to my heart, and so supporting it locally, and the Youth of the Year retreat we have in January is sort of a pre-season warm-up for these kids to build their character and their portfolio and do their speeches has been fun for my family and I to stay involved in supporting. Being on the founding board, and then my wife Christy taking over for 20 years on the other working board, and then us both part of the emeritus board at this point, has been really special. So, the goal of the morning, I hope, brings a little perspective. Hearing Kurt's story, which he's really fantastic in front of the crowd and the mic, and I think he presents himself well. But to hear his story and then to hear my story and realize that, over the next 40 years of Kurt's life, as my life, this process continues. I always like to think of it more of an investment. It's an investment in our kids, it's an investment in our community, but really it's an investment in the future, because every one of these kids that go through the clubs, whether they're part of different programs, always come out of it with something that's important. And so as I tell everybody who asks me about clubs over the years is get involved, visit the club, tour a club, learn more about the club, but more importantly, we have to support it financially. So I think if I look back on the history of Boys and Girls Club, the clubs have worked for over 100 years nationally. They've clearly worked for 50 years of my life being involved in it, and now 25 years here in Thurston County, they continue to provide the services to our youth that we are all proud of. Shelly asked me to keep this to 5 minutes, so hopefully I did okay. But as we reflect back, I think what I want to ask today is we talk about this level up thing, and that's the theme of the morning. And so as we level up, each one of us in this room, and we're going to commit ourselves to be involved in our community, what I'd ask is that you join me and level up and support the kids financially this morning, providing a donation and do what's important. I think each board, each table has an envelope there, and as you reflect back on the morning, please support the clubs. So thank you guys, and I appreciate getting a chance to talk. Thank you.
Give another round of applause for Dr. Agtarap. Christy Agtarap and their family have been instrumental in the success of our organization over the past 25 years. We need your help. We can't continue to grow at this rate without your help. We haven't grown at this rate without your help. And so whether that's a monthly contribution so that you can drag that across a year, which we would love for you to do, and join our Blue Door Club, or maybe it's a large gift that you'd like to make, a deeper investment in the organization. There are kids that are unserved currently in Thurston County who need a Boys and Girls Club experience. Kids need a club experience. They need access to the clubs, and you can help open that blue door. So as you're passing your donation envelopes around, table captains, you are permitted to do that now. Please think about the kids that could be added to our roster next year. Think about the kids that are walking through the doors right now, the kids like Kurt, the kids that are experiencing those mental health support programs, the kids who are unhoused currently but find that home at Boys and Girls Club. Think about them when you make your contribution today, and know that we are phenomenal stewards of your resources because we know it matters. What we're doing in the clubs each afternoon, each morning matters. Thank you so much for committing your morning to us. We promised that you'd be out before 9. You will. Look, it's 8:33. But thank you for making a commitment to Boys and Girls Clubs of Thurston County and the 1,900 youth that we serve. Have a good morning.